Hey, good morning, Dave. How are you?
Hey, thanks for waking up early. I know it's a long night for you guys on Friday nights. But before we get into last night's game, just wanted to get your thoughts real quick on pregame. Incredibly classy move by the Pleasantville captains. They came out to the coin toss wearing Walshy Warriors T-shirts in honor of your assistant coach, Bill Walsh, and his fight against ALS. What was your impression of that?
That was outstanding. Coach Sacco is doing a great job with those kids, and that just shows the class act that those guys are.
Did you have any idea those guys were going to do that?
Had no idea whatsoever. And the fact that we're high school football is a close knit community. And everyone's pulling for Bill and everything's wishing the best. And having those guys do that for Bill was fantastic.
And his reaction was just priceless when they kind of, after the coin toss, they ran over to your sideline with the T-shirts all over their uniforms and kind of gave him a quick hug. And man, he was just, you could just tell in his face, he was just so fired up and really touched by that moment.
Oh, absolutely. It meant a lot. And, like I said, it's just Coach Hackers does a great job. And he did a good job with that stuff. That's fantastic.
Now, Coach, a couple more gray hairs after last night. You guys have been in some dogfights the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, we keep our fans pretty excited about things.
You're going to get your money's worth. You come out to Absecon, right?
Yes, you will. Once again, Pleasantville came out. They played hard. Gave us a good game. And I'm going to reiterate this because those Pleasantville kids, they're doing a great job over there. And I think you're going to see these guys make some noise this year in the playoffs.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, they were, and I'm sure you said this to your guys before the game. They know what happened last year. You guys kind of rolled over them, and I'm sure you said before the game, like, hey, this is a different Pleasantville team. We got to come out there and give it 100% because these guys are coming for us.
Yeah, we did, and they're a dangerous football team. They're athletic, they're big. Their scheme's a little different than other teams that we've played so far. So they threw some things at us that caught us early. A credit to our assistant coaches as well. Came back, made some adjustments, and were able to fix some things. But it was a dogfight last night, like you said, and that's great for high school football.
What'd you talk about at halftime? Because Pleasantville, a little different challenge defensively. Those little out and up moves where a lot of times your receivers can just outrun people. They weren't able to outrun those defensive backs from Holy Spirit or from Pleasantville. So you guys kind of had to do a little bit different things offensively and really had to rely on Elijah Gray a lot. And he came through for you at 227 yards on 32 carries. So you knew you weren't going to beat them over the top with big plays. So you kind of had to grind it out a little bit.
Right, and that's somewhat what we're known for here at Holy Spirit is our rushing game. And having the ability to do that, and with Josh at quarterback having the ability to throw the ball now, kind of gives us some options. Elijah is a workhorse. I mean, that kid is an effort kid. May not be the fastest kid around, but I'll tell you what, man, he gets the toughest 5 yards you'll ever see.
You can't say it any better than that, Coach. I mean, I've been impressed with him throughout his career. I know it's only about halfway through now, but you got to love a little running back like that just got the powerful legs and can really grind it out for you. I mean, as a coach, that's what you want. You want a back that wants the ball 25, 30 times a game and says, hey, just keep giving it to me, man. Just keep feeding me.
Yep, absolutely. He's got a huge heart, and he's got a nonstop motor, so he's doing a good job.
It was kind of funny. I asked him, first question I asked him after the game was like, how you feeling? You a little beat up? He's like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, he's ready to go this morning, I'll tell you that.
Where do you feel like this team is at, Coach? I knew in the preseason you knew you had a lot of work to do, especially on the defensive side. You lost all 3 of your linebackers and had a lot of talent to replace on that side of the ball, and you've been getting tested by some pretty good teams here early in the season.
Yeah, our schedule is is pretty good, pretty tough. We're still a work in progress. I think offensively, we're kind of shaking things out right now on the offensive side. But defensively, we're still working some kinks out right now. It's going to be a week-to-week thing for us. Just got to keep getting the kids prepared, and they're doing a great job of responding. And like I said, it's going to be a week-to-week thing.
Talking with Coach A.J. Russo, Holy Spirit football team. They scored a 36-24 win over Pleasantville last night. And, Coach, it looked to me like that defense just got a huge bolt of confidence when Azim Baker-Coley became eligible after transfer from Atlantic City. And he's been kind of chomping at the bit to get out there and and I asked him after the game, what's it like to be back? And he said, man, that was a long 30 days, but I'm glad to be back. So it really helps solidify your defense a little bit there. You plug him in at middle linebacker.
Yeah, Azim is a solid player. He brings a different level of toughness to our defense. And like you said, he was chomping at the bit. I mean, it's tough for a kid to practice, for a month and not be able to participate in the game. But he's been a trooper with that. And then he does bring a different level to what we're doing on the defensive side of the ball. So, we'll have an opportunity over the next couple of weeks to make sure that we get him prepared and ready to go, for game time. So he's gonna help us out a lot.
What does that do for the rest of the defensive guys when maybe you've had some lapses at times and all of a sudden you bring this guy in and he can plug a hole and really bring that intensity level to the defense? That's got to be a huge lift for the other guys. Well,
yeah, it's a lift for them because they see the intensity that he brings, and it also allowed us to move a kid like Malachi Valentine, who was playing at backer position, to nose guard, and Malachi had a pretty decent game last night as well. So it allows us to do some different things with some different players as well, and open up the opportunity for some kids to maybe just get some rest and play on the offensive side of the ball as well.
I'll tell you, AJ, a guy who's kind of opened my eyes a little bit, and I didn't know much about him before the season, is John B. coming in there at the outside linebacker position. That's sort of a spot that I guess Gavin Leapy was doing last year for you, and wearing the same number, ironically enough. But he's starting to become a little more comfortable out there as a starting defensive player.
Yeah, it's funny. I've coached John since he was a little kid as well, and John's the type of kid that you look at him and you're like, all right, well, where are we going to find a spot for him? But when you do get him in games, he seems to make plays all the time. John worked very hard in this off season. He got a lot stronger, and he's one of the top 5 fastest kids on our team, believe it or not. And John's another kid that gives an effort all the time, and he's been outstanding for us this year.
He kind of represents to me the type of kid you need on a high school football team. He's not going to make it into the paper a bunch. People may be like, who's number 11? You got to check the roster, but he's one of those kids that's going to come out there and work hard every day and be a solid contributor.
Absolutely. I mean, we always talk about just doing your job, and the plays will happen, and that's what John does. He does his job, and when opportunities are there to make big plays, he does it. And I'd like to say that for all of our kids on both the offensive side and defensive side of the ball.
Now, Coach, talk a little bit about Josh Zamad. I mean, I've been just so impressed with this kid throughout his career. He came into a really tough situation at Prep last year, trying to take over for Jose Tabora, who had basically, a record-setting type career with the Hermits, and really he was a little out of sorts that first start against Malvern Prep, but really found his footing quickly and had a great second half in that game, and that really propelled him to a great season. He comes over to you guys this year and really brings that air of confidence. He's such a confident kid. He's been a wrestler, been a solid football player, and it just seems like your team kind of, even when you're down a score or two, okay, we got Josh, no problem. He's going to make some plays, and it's nice to have a guy like that who you can rely on, who's a senior, who's a leader, who can really just bring that, just a sort of a calmness about the game.
Yeah, our kids know that. That we can rely on Josh to make plays. Josh does a great job of leadership in the huddle as well. Obviously you can see what he does athletically on the field, but for his mental aspect of the game is where it kind of separates him a little bit. He's an intelligent kid. He grasps the offense very well. He works with Coach Roman all the time on reading the defenses, and he's done a fantastic job at that. So our kids have a good comfort level with him, and like you said, it is a calming effect on the offense knowing that he's back there. And it allows other kids to relax and make plays as well because they know that he's going to be back there supporting as well.
It was kind of funny. I had him on I brought the phone over to him to get him on the guys here Friday Night Live after the game, talking on the radio, and I was joking with his dad after he got off the phone. I was like, man, we might have to get this kid in as a co-host. He's a natural speaking with the media.
he has a knack for that, absolutely. A gift is gab, I've no doubt about it.
It always amazes me, some of these kids. I mean, I think back to when I was in high school, I wouldn't have never know what to say to a reporter. I would have been shaking in my pants there. But some of these kids are just amazing with the way they handle things, and I guess that's a product of the time we're living in. They see it so much on TV, and they're so used to speaking. There's so much media now covering high school sports.
Oh, absolutely. You remember in high school when we had to take public speaking classes, right?
Right.
The worst class you wanted to take.
Oh my God, I'd be shaking in my boots even thinking about that.
Yeah, but you're right. These guys are very comfortable with that, and and they think about what they're going to say as well. I mean, they just don't come out and start spouting stuff. I mean, they're pretty good with their thought process, and very happy about the way they handle themselves.
Is that part of the coaching too? You kind of have to coach these guys up on how to speak to the media. We don't really think about that too much.
I mean, we talk to them in general about that, but mainly because of the way the kids are, and what they have a great understanding of what we're asking them to do. I mean, it's not something we hone on a regular basis, but in general, we talk to them about how to handle themselves in situations like that.
Good stuff, Coach. I know you're itching to get to the film room, but we appreciate you taking a few minutes, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you, Dave, and keep doing the good work, man. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
That was Coach A.J. Russo, Holy Spirit. Congrats to the Spartans. Big win over Pleasantville last night, 36-24.